Bitcoin broke bearish, and it threatens to do so again. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we have some very important technical analysis to do because if you remember 2 days ago, we discussed a consolidation pattern on the hourly chart for Bitcoin, and I talked about the likelihood of whether or not it would break bullish or bearish. Bitcoin broke bearish, and unfortunately, Bitcoin is now sitting upon a very important support level that it needs to hold if we want Bitcoin to continue this rally and break $20,000. Guys, we're going to be discussing all of that technical analysis and more in today's video. It's a very important video, so I encourage you to stick around until the end. I challenge you guys to follow us on Instagram. We got a ton of followers, but it's still not enough. We want 2,000 on Instagram and 5,000 on Twitter before the end of the year. So go follow us. Please. Please. There's cookies involved. I will give you a cookie. I am serious. I will freaking expedited mail you a cookie. Okay, thank you. Anyway, without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep talking about Twitter and Instagram, but I'm getting hounded over here by the person that does our social media. They're saying, Jeb, we're not growing enough. Anywho, let's jump onto the chart. 2 days ago in this video right here, we discussed this consolidation pattern on Bitcoin with a downtrending level of resistance there and an uptrending level of support right there. We talked about whether or not Bitcoin would break to the upside or to the downside, and I made an incorrect call saying that I thought it would break to the upside. It looks like I should have gone with my gut because my gut was telling me, Jeb, this doesn't look very bullish. I laid that out in that video. Bitcoin did break down. What's important to note here is that when Bitcoin broke bearish, it fell to a very important support level right down here at $17,650. Zooming out, we can see why that's so important because it represents this long-term uptrend that has been in effect ever since the 7th of November. It's over 30 days old. Thus far, we have had 1, 2, and now 3 touches on it. And in fact, it's not 3, but it's 4 because we've not only put 1 test, we've also put 2 on here. So that brings us to the understanding that Bitcoin has proven bearishness, actually, in this uptrend. Bitcoin did not break through and above $20,000. Instead, Bitcoin broke bearish out of a shorter-term consolidation pattern, pulled back, and now we are double bottoming at a very important uptrending level of support. So the question now becomes, do we hold that level of support, or is there a good reason why we tested it twice only 24 hours apart? Well, I would postulate that Bitcoin has lost a lot of the exuberance that was driving the rally that we were in up until about a week and a half ago. And the reason I would say that is because that rally really got kicked off with Bitcoin breaking levels of resistance, hitting 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000. Bitcoin just kept hitting new highs, and it started with the PayPal news of PayPal getting into cryptocurrency. But now that news has died off. That has turned more into long-term fundamental news rather than short-term excitement news, and the hype has died. This is further proven by looking at Google Trends for the key search term Bitcoin. As you guys can see, in mid-November, we peaked all the way to the most search volume that we have seen throughout the last year from the lowest amount of search volume we had seen throughout the last year. And now we're pulling back from last week at 90 to this week projected to be 70. What we've just seen, this 80% run in 90 days, was built on a miniature hype cycle. Nothing like what we saw at all-time high last time in 2017, but a hype cycle nonetheless. And the fact that Bitcoin has lost some of that hype because people have already bought all the Bitcoin that they want and everybody's in profit. Now that Bitcoin's trading sideways, everybody that's in profit is looking to take those profits and are turning from bulls into bears. This would explain phenomena that we see in the history of Bitcoin, where whenever Bitcoin returns back to the all-time high figure, you generally see some sideways trading before finally breaking it. For example, when I got into the market back over here on July 31st, I was in the middle of a market where Bitcoin was testing $3,000, rejected from it, traded sideways, actually put an inverse head and shoulders pattern in here and rallied to $5,000. But first, everyone took profit because we had only been to $3,000 once before in this period of the market. We saw something similar here with the $10,400 high that we saw back in February of this year. When we rallied back up to $10,400, we actually traded sideways and to the downside for a couple of months before finally breaking it and then turning it into support. And while it is possible for a market to just rally and completely smash a level of resistance, it doesn't always happen, especially considering $20,000 is the largest, most powerful level of resistance perhaps in the history of the entire market. It might take a little while for Bitcoin to get above it. So where does that leave us? I hope that answers your question of why Bitcoin is trading sideways when we're seemingly in such exuberance. Essentially, what we're forming right now, guys, is one of two things. Either we're forming a rounded topping pattern. As you can see, we were rallying, trading sideways. Now we're trading to the downside. These do normally mean that we are at the peak of the market, but it also normally means the bears aren't that strong because there's underlying bullishness that will come to pass soon. You can make that argument, or you can make the argument that this is some kind of really ugly bull flag, and that Bitcoin is just consolidating below $20,000, letting people take the profits that want to take the profits, let people that aren't already in the market get into the market, resetting the bullish exuberance for a new rally. Those are the two different things that you could take this as. But the conclusion is the same on both of them. The conclusion is sideways to slightly negative trading for at least the next week or two, followed by a break to the upside. The reason I say that a break to the upside will follow that is because at the end of the day, even if we're seeing short-term bearishness, that does not mean that the underlying fundamentals are not bullish. In fact, they are very bullish. In fact, I would say they are more bullish today than they ever have been in the history of cryptocurrency, especially moving into 2021. Unfortunately, things are never going to go back to normal, and they're certainly not going to go back to normal midnight on December 31st. This economy and the ramifications of mass money printing will be felt moving into this decade, and we're going to start feeling the big fallout this year. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bigger recession to come in the next couple of years than the one we saw this year, because these things do take time. Economies are very complicated machines. When that does happen, it is only going to help Bitcoin, as Bitcoin was designed to be a hedge against inflation. What's one of the biggest crises we're seeing right now? Economic turbulence and currency inflation. So in this time of potential sideways and bearish trading, I want you to keep in mind the long game here. We're not in Bitcoin for a week. We're not in Bitcoin for 2 weeks. We're not in Bitcoin for a month, 3 months, or 6 months. I plan on being in Bitcoin for a very, very long time. I do not and have never seen Bitcoin as a get-rich-quick scheme. I have never professed that if you study Bitcoin 12 hours a day, then in 2 weeks you'll be able to trade like a pro. I have always professed that if you want anything, you're going to have to work your tail off for it, and Bitcoin is no different. It does have a very high ceiling of profitability, but if you want to make the most of this space, you need to be here for the long game. So before I wrap this video out, I want to ask you and challenge you, are you here for the long game? Or will a slight pullback below the all-time high figure scare you? Tell me in the comment sections down below what your take on this market is right now and where you think Bitcoin is going, and if you are actually excited to get some Christmas deals on Bitcoin, because I'll tell you what, not only is Bitcoin pulling back a good thing because we get to buy more of it, it's also reset the RSI. We're trading around 55 on the RSI. Just imagine what the next rally could do. We could be seeing $30,000, $35,000, $40,000 Bitcoin prices in the next 3 to 4 months. That might not happen, but is very much in the cards, so watch out for it. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think. I want to hear your take. Guys, I love reading comments. I love reading comments so very much. And one more thing before we go. Before I even tell you guys this, I say this without a bone of braggery in my body. I say this simply humbly, and I say this in a spirit of thanksgiving, because of all of the things that you guys have done for us and all the support you guys have given us this year. I was able to just give all 5 of my employees a double paycheck for Christmas. You should have been there when I told each and every one of them individually. All of their faces lit up. It was so incredible to be able to do that, guys. I am so very proud of our team, and I want to just give thanks to them. One of them is editing this video. Hi, Zach. What we are doing here is not being done to enrich me. I want you guys to understand that. We do all right for ourselves. I have 5 employees, but this is not something that we are doing so that Jeb can have a fancier car, or Jeb can have a bigger house, or Jeb can be famous. What we are doing here is impacting not only the lives of you guys, hopefully, but it's impacting the lives of people in our company and their families and our communities. Guys, we are doing something incredible here, and I am so incredibly blessed to be a part of it. So thank you guys very, very much for everything you've done for us on this channel. Subscribing, liking the videos, following us on Instagram and Twitter, listening to my rants, forgiving me when we make mistakes, forgiving me when we miss uploads, being patient with us and watching us grow and being here for the journey. Thank you guys so much. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so very much. That is going to wrap it out for today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.